Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to be looking at something that's extraordinarily rare, at least in my journeys, is a large print New Open Bible, New Open Reference Bible. They came out with the Open Bible, the New Open Bible, then they've kind of combined it, and I'm sitting here looking at an Open Bible. Always try to find an Open Bible with what's known as the cyclopedic or topical index in the front. That really helps things out. But a large print edition. Now, this is a New King James. I'm not a massive New King James fan. It is better than almost all modern translations, but the Reformation text Bibles still have it beat. So, large print edition. And it is not as big as my Thompson large print. It's not as big as a Schofield large print, but it is good size. Now, we've got something working against us. Our camera is having a little bit of a malfunction. We cannot zoom in right now. So I'm going to have to just do a review without zooming in. And so this is in genuine bonded leather. I've always liked the box of the New Open Bible. And this is thumb indexed, really good thumb indexing. Somebody gave me this, and this has got one of the best end sheets of any Bible, premium or not, even though this is bonded leather. Bonded leather is pieces of leather bonded together. Sometimes it's 100% leather. Sometimes it's only 20% leather, and filler is the other 80%. But, Nelson's going to pretty much do a quality job. Got the little tricorta, which is the sign of the pre-Christian Trinity. And old Thomas Nelson. Let's see, does it say that? The tricorta, from a Latin word meaning three-cornered, is an ancient symbol of the Trinity. But it doesn't say pre-Christian, it used to. So here's some of the contributors to the New Open Bible. I think you'll begin to see why it was so good. It's one of my favorites. Still to this day, I find myself using it constantly. Ken Boa. Well, of course, he's fantastic. Director of Publications, Search Ministry, Atlanta, Georgia. George Knight, Visual Bible Study Aids Editor, Nashville, Tennessee. Think about this. R.G. Lee, with a doctorate of divinity, a doctor of letters, and a Ph.D. Pile High and Deep, a guide to Christian workers, pastor, evangelist, Payday Someday. That was one of his most famous. Brother Marler reads R.G. Lee, and he'll call me, Steve, you can't believe this. It's incredible. Just amazing. But then who else? Who else but C.M. Ward, the speaker for a long time of the Assembly of God radio program. What was it called? It wasn't Harvest Time. Was it Pulpit something? But C.M. Ward, great speaker. And he's got a book out called Perils Among False Brethren. It's phenomenal as well. Miles Lorenzen. And then somebody I met multiple times, one of the nicest guys. He wrote some of the most famous Christian books ever, like Secrets of the Vine, I think, and The Prayer of Jabez. But he's also Bible College president right there in Atlanta. He used to come in the bookstore where I was. Bruce Wilkinson. And his walk through the Bible. I hope those are still going on. Take you from Genesis to Revelation in ways you can remember. I'll give you an example, because I heard this probably 30 plus years ago. And I'll give you an example. But before I do, I did this in Bible college under Sidney Poe. The 7 Laws of the Learner. 7 Laws of the Learner. And learner-oriented, I remember application-oriented, retention-oriented, need-oriented, end-time-oriented, and revival-oriented. What was the E? Expectation-oriented. I still remember the examples he would use of people, like a teacher would get a gifted class, and it would be the most joy, and then at the end of the class, the teaching semester, they would say, oh, we forgot. These really weren't gifted students. You had but because of his expectations, it turned out good. But not only that, okay, who was the guy? Sister Waldron, do you remember who my first secretary was at IBC? His daughter, he was in Missouri, pastored Apostolic Holiness. We went and preached at this church before. I can picture her. I can't believe I just spurred one. It's late, it's night. Anyhow, he used to go teaching these seminars all over the place. I may remember his name before we get done here. But, okay, so the book of Genesis. Genesis is divided in two. Chapters 1 through 11, 4 great events. Chapters 12 through 50, Groman, Brother Groman. Sister Waldron's smiling now. And like his daughter, Sister Groman. And 4 great people. Creation, the fall, the flood, and Babel. 12 through 50. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Abraham had eyes of faith. Isaac and Ishmael. I mean, stuff like that. That's in this Bible, believe it or not, the visual survey of the Bible. It's absolutely fantastic. And so, index to visual Bible study aids, got a foreword in here, a preface in here, good paper. Now, another thing, and I encourage Nelson to do this. We were one of the top sellers of Nelson Bibles in America at one time, back in the 80s and 90s. And I said, you just need to take the introductions of the Open Bible, make it its own study guide, and they did. They're phenomenal. Absolutely. So this has got how to study the Bible, phenomenal section in here. And it's just incredible. And then the Christian's Guide to the New Life. So they made the Christian's study outline, New Testament and stuff from this, and then a whole Bible. Just great stuff. Recognizing God's institutions, the family, human government, Israel, the church. Monies, weights, and measures. This is great. One of the best that's ever been done. Liquid measures. Then the topical index to the Bible. It's usually over 300 pages of a topical index. And so like under Abiathar, one of the things I love about it is it says his name means father of preeminence. Abib means an ear of corn. And on and so forth. But then it's not just a concordance, it's a topical index. So you can look up anger. So even if anger is not in the word, this is one thing I just love it. Like you get to the names of Jesus, the Holy Ghost, and all of this kind of stuff. This thing is wonderful, just like a Thompson chain is and all that. Guys like Brother Bear, who died recently. I think he was down at Brother Scoggins Church, adult Sunday school teacher. What a great guy Brother Scoggins is. Had memorized almost the entire Bible. I talked with him about it one time, about memorizing the Bible. What a great, great inspiration. Mentioned in Bill Clinton's book, because he memorized the Bible so incredible. So I'm still in the topical index. I'm still turning. We're on page 322 already. I'm still in the topical index. Finally get to the introduction, like the book of Genesis introduction has a how to read the Bible through. So 347 before you get there. So the book of Genesis, the author of Genesis, the time frame of Genesis, the Jesus of Genesis, the keys to Genesis, the visual survey, the survey of Genesis, an outline of Genesis. Now, it doesn't have a lot of notes. It does have in-text references, which is my favorite form of references, because you read the verse and then you have the references, or if it's a difficult word, maybe it has an understanding under there. My personal favorite reference system, you know, down at the bottom, side column reference, center column reference, end of verse reference, the very best. It has in-text references, not at the top. It does have probably half an inch to write at the top, maybe 0.375 to a half an inch at the bottom, maybe 0.65-ish to 0.75 at the sides. Really nothing in the gutter here. And these are just great study Bibles. And then in the center, you have the history of the early church. It's a visual guide to the Bible, and it's absolutely incredible. It's tremendous. They used to sell this as a separate book too. And chronology. And then, let's say, in the Gospels, it harmonizes the Gospels as you go. So you'll have a in-text reference system and then scriptures underneath it, like the parable of the landowner is also Mark 12, 1 through 12, Luke 29 through 19. And then like it tells you, here's some New Testament words, Abba, Father, Hosanna, Maranatha. Goes into deep word study there. So what can I say? And so this is the large print edition, so it's a big Bible. Maybe too big for you to carry to church, but for studying and for your sight, it's good. It's still probably only 9.5 to 10 point print, but it's bigger than the other. Israel and the Romans, what a thing. Now let's see if this is still one of those old ones. They took out the archaeological section of some of the newer ones. And I don't think this one may have it, because it looks like it. I'm coming, it's red letter, good red letter, real good red letter. City of Pergamos, City of Megiddo, Guide to Christian Workers, that's really good. Going to have some quibbles on their doctrine of salvation, but for the others, it's good. Prophecies of the Messiah, Teachings and Illustrations of Jesus, Harmony of the Gospels, the Jewish Calendar. But it doesn't have a concordance. It does have the old Nelson maps. Very limited. Nelson's always kind of been a step behind on maps. Ribbon marker, gilt edging, pretty bad ribbon marker, really bad ribbon marker. They didn't emphasize ribbon markers there. And good gilt edging, decorative headband, tailband, black gold. Let's see if it's sewn binding. Probably sewn binding because it's laying flat right at the, page 76. Bonded leather. What can I say? If you can find one of these, especially if you can find it in King James, which is my favorite, obviously, that's one. But if you're a New King James person, if you can find this, and see, they never really made these in the NIV, and they sold so well. I can remember when Zondervan, who owned the rights of the NIV through Biblia and all this, that they said, we're going to come out with something that's kind of with this, the Topical Study Bible was the name of it, the Topical Bible. And I'm going to tell you, it was good too. I actually bought one, used it, even though I don't really care for the NIV, but I would use some of the references. So the New Open Bible, New King James, large print edition. I don't think they make the large print for sure anymore. Maybe they do, but eBay is your friend. Amazon is your friend. A-Book is your friend. Better World Books is your friend. Goodwill is your friend. God bless. We love you. Bye-bye.